Welcome to We Need to Talk Now, presented by AT&T. My name is Alicia J. As always, I am here with Ashley Nicole Moss.
Hello, hello. It's
And
not
we are
about us, Alicia. It's not about
huh?
us today.
No, today is not about us because we are so excited to have 7-year WNBA vet, just all around professional basketball player. We have so much to talk to you about, so many questions, but the one and the only Shatori Walker-Kimbrough.
Hello, hello.
I
I
had to
love
get all 3 names in. You know what I'm saying? Had to get them all in.
That was a great intro. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on here.
No, thank you for being here. And listen, we could not start this interview off without talking to you about fashion because from what I hear, you kicked off the tunnel fits, okay? You're the OG of the WNBA tunnel fits and they've obviously like evolved and changed and just like the whole tunnel fit thing has grown so much. What has it been like to see, the fashion in the WNBA evolve?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, most people know, and I'm sure you guys know, it's a great time to be a part of the WNBA and a fan of the WNBA right now. It's just exciting for me just to see the different looks. And I know me and even my teammates and even some different people in the league and different teams, like we're always looking at different teams' social media accounts to see what everybody has on. So, like I said, it's an exciting part. It's an exciting time to be a part of the league for sure.
Yeah.
How do you go ahead and like source your outfits? Are you more like high low? So you'll thrift some stuff, high fashion some stuff? Are you like Zara this, but Prada that? Like, what is your sweet spot when it comes to like your individual fashion and your like approach to the whole fashion game?
Yeah, for me, I'm super cheap. Super cheap. But I do shop. I do thrift a lot, and I do in the off season. I play overseas, and so I do a lot of my shopping overseas.
Smart.
With their different brands. I think they fit me better with my body type. So I do like to shop over there. And get different pieces over there and kind of like mix and match them with pieces I get over here, or my whole outfit may be from Europe.
Listen, we love a good Europe look over here, okay?
And it's cheaper. People don't realize that. You don't have to pay those international taxes like you do in the States. It's a lot smarter if you can go overseas and get your stuff. So
Yeah, you might as well take a trip and do your shopping. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right.
Do both of that. So you're talking about the WNBA evolving, and obviously this rookie class has done a lot for the league. Not saying that they've done everything. I don't want anyone to come for me over here, but what have you thought about this rookie class and what they have brought to the WNBA?
They're amazing. They're amazing, top to bottom. I can go through so many names. I'm a fan of, our rookie. She's great. Just her approach, like, I know I wasn't like that my rookie year, and even like other rookies on our team, just her approach. And obviously, anyone that is basketball fans, we know what UConn women's basketball is to the game. And just coming from that culture, I mean, she's a testament of just hard work, grinding. And I mean, we need her to play well, and she steps up to the plate every single time. And that's rare in a rookie. Like, I mean, she wears it so well. She's so confident. She's so aggressive. And even the task that we asked her to do with, I mean, she's guarding Breonna Stewart's and Jonquel Jones. We're talking about like league MVPs and champions. And this is a rookie we're talking about. Like, she was literally in college classes 5 months ago. And that's not even just her, but like all of the rookies. Like we're seeing that with all of the hype, like they're stepping up to the plate. And it's a great thing to watch. And it's a great time to be a part of it for sure.
I definitely want to dive into that a little bit more because I think that when we talk about each rookie class, right, you see things that are just so far beyond where you were as a rookie. We talk about like the science of medicine and nutrition and just the skill sets of these rookies each and every year, not just this class, but even if you go back, I feel like every draft class gets better. So what is the thing overall that sticks out to you about this rookie class that you wish when you were a rookie, you had some of that also?
Yeah. I don't want to say I wasn't confident, but their confidence level and their work ethic and the way they put their head down, like they just like, they're ready for the moment. And I think it even goes back to college, like even like the last 3 years, like we're looking at the women's Final Four and like these arenas are sold out. They're packed out. Like, so like, it's kind of like they're already prepared. Like even going back to going to Maryland, because that's where I went to school at, and just seeing like their Iowa games or the Nebraska games, their Ohio State games, like their arena is packed out, and we had good fans, but nothing like what the team has now. So I think they're well prepared to play in front of these big arenas, and no moment is too big for them.
Yeah, I mean, and I couldn't agree more. This rookie class has been so amazing, but you're definitely not a rookie. You have been in the WNBA.
Ouch! That was like low key.
Well, I'm just saying she is a vet. She's tried and true. She's been in the WNBA for 7 seasons now, or 7 years, I should say. And your path, as I'm reading your story, you've been on many teams. You've been waived at one point. You know, it definitely hasn't been the easiest path, right, in the WNBA. So what kept you coming back to the game? What kept you literally coming back for more in the WNBA? I know you play overseas, but you know, the WNBA is a really, really hard league to be in and to get in and to stay in furthermore. So what kept you coming back?
Yeah, that right there, just the motivation, it's the best league in the world. And if I'm not shooting for the best, I feel like I'm shortening myself. So just being a part of it, it doesn't even feel like a job. Like, it's even crazy to say that I do this for a living, because young Tori would never think in a million years that I would be talking to you guys or in the situation that I'm in right now. But, you know, just being that it's the best league in the world, I always want to be a part of it for sure. And it's like I said, it's a great time to be a part of it. A lot of eyes, and it's a great moment for sure for not even just the WNBA, but women's basketball as a whole.
I think obviously in hindsight, the journey and everything that comes with it was worth it. But when you're in it, I feel like it's harder to kind of see the future and remain optimistic. So I kind of want you to take us through a moment where maybe you question whether this was for you, whether like you could go ahead and persevere and say, you know what, maybe it's time for me to just walk away and figure something else out.
Yeah. So I remember, I want to say it was 2021, when I was with the Atlanta Dream, and I can't remember the exact date, but it was a Thursday, and our first game of the season was that Friday, so the next day, and I got waived after practice. Like, I was even getting extra shots, and they cut me like after my extra shots. I'm just like, y'all couldn't like, I couldn't do this like,
Before?
Yeah. So then after that, my agent's like, you know, Tori, don't worry. Like, you know, someone's going to pick you up. And I'm just like, but everyone has their teams already. Like, the season starts tomorrow. And so I'm just like, of course, like I'm feeling all the feels, not good feelings, obviously. But during that time, it was like, we're just coming out of COVID too. And I am trying to, I don't want to say I'm trying to stay motivated, but I'm trying to stay encouraged, because I don't know if a call is going to come. And so that's when I knew that I really loved what I did, because I was waking up at like, I think probably like 5:30, like almost like 6-7 days a week to go to the YMCA, because I wanted to beat the rush. I didn't want to catch COVID, because if someone called, it was just like a big protocol that if you got COVID, you had to stay in a hotel. Like, so I was like, I'm going to try to get to the gym early and just work and stay ready for a call that may not ever come. And so I did that for about, I'm not gonna lie, probably like 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, for like 5 weeks. It's like, I just wanted to stay ready. I just didn't know if a call was ever gonna come. And at that time, I got drafted to DC, who I play for now. And Mike Tebow, the GM now, he was a coach at the time, but he's a GM now. And he called me. He was just like, just let me know if you're in shape. And I was like, Coach, I've been working out for like 5 weeks. He's like, I believe you. Can you come down tomorrow? He was like, can you come down Tuesday? I was like, I can come right now. If you send me the confirmation, I will come right now. And at that moment, like, I knew, I was like, I love what I do. I wouldn't want to do it any other way.
Yeah, you stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right?
Oh, that's all right.
That's what you have to do. Well, talking about, you know, then and then now, the marketing in the WNBA has definitely changed and evolved.
Yeah.
What do you think they're getting right now, and what do you think they're getting wrong?
I think they're getting a lot of things right. Honestly, I can't even think of anything as far as wrong, because I think like the WNBA and all of these brands and investors that are investing into women's basketball is good for our league. Like, even my rookie year, like, there was never a time I would think turn on First Take and see them talking about women's basketball or having a segment for a week straight,
Mm.
or listening to Shannon Sharp and Ocho talk about the women's Final Four and the WNBA. So like all of this is just, we're moving in the right direction. And like I said, I can't say it enough. Like it's a great moment for our league.
I definitely want to focus on the con also, right? Because I feel like with the heightened, just with the heightened eyes and, the league being under a microscope more than ever before, and, the new viewership, all of that's great because things come with that, marketing deals come with that. The revenue grows, and the revenue grows and you can pay players more. And it's all those things are fantastic, but with the good always comes the bad. And we have seen since the start of the season, conversations happening. And I'm on the side of thinking that some conversations should happen because I think the WNBA, unlike any other league, at least in this country, is so multi-layered with so many different types of women from so many different walks of life that there are multiple conversations that have to be had, especially when you have new viewers, to help them understand the league better. But I think with that, we have also seen a lack of responsible reporting when it comes to this league and the women in this league. So what has been the most frustrating part about this particular season and how this season has been spoken about in the media?
Yeah, I think for me, it's probably the lack of understanding and the lack of knowledge, because obviously we invite new fans, we invite new eyes, but it's the ones that come in and act like they've been here when they haven't, and they act like so-and-so should do this, or as if there's not an Asia Wilson, a Breonna Stewart, a Brittany Griner, because the ones that know, they know. But you can tell the ones that haven't, and it's okay because you don't know everything, but the new fans definitely stand out. And for me, I don't really get caught up in it because the game speaks for itself. And obviously, like you said, with the growing of our league, it's going to come, that's just going to come. But our league is growing and that's going to come. But I think a lot of people are getting the recognition that, like they deserve. Like I'm sure all of us can agree that Asia Wilson should have had a signature shoe for a long time. And she is getting that. But different things of that nature. That's the one thing I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, obviously with the growth of our game is going to come some negativity as well. But it's just all about how us players, we handle it. But it comes with the territory for sure.
Yeah, and you talked about expansion a little bit. That's something that's really exciting because, with 144 roster spots, it's really difficult to get all of the talent that we have, from women, right?
For sure.
What are you most excited about in expansion? And is there a particular city you'd love to see the WB in?
Yeah, I'm super excited about the expansion. Even just like with me playing overseas, like I'm being exposed to even like really, really good Europeans who have been pros since they were 14, 15, 16 years old. So that's not even just opportunities for the Americans that, a lot of opportunity. I mean, a lot of talent that we have, like, in our backyard, but even like worldwide, expanding our game through different continents as well. Like I had a Chinese teammate last year and a Japanese teammate 2 years ago, but just the expansion of our game beyond America. And that brings even more eyes, not just within, the confinement of America. But I'm excited about definitely Toronto as well. I'm definitely excited to get some more
Toronto, cool.
Yeah. They have a great fan base up there too.
Yeah.
They do.
So I want to focus also on this particular season, right? I mean, we talk about expansion, we talk about where the league is, where the league's going, and there's so much opportunity, there's so much promise. But right now we're focused on this season. And listen, your team, the Mystics, has not had the easiest start to the season. It's been a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, more tribulations, than anything else. So there's a few things I want to focus on. One, I want to go back to the conversation we were having about rookies, right? You're a vet. You've seen everything you can possibly see in this league. You've gone through everything you can possibly go through as a player in this league. But when you have a rookie coming into this and it's their first experience and it doesn't go, according to plan, it's not sweet, it's not rainbows and gumdrops and all that. And reality hits them a little bit earlier than it does for some other teams. As a vet, how do you go ahead and just kind of help them to remain grounded, help them to remain optimistic, and not allow them to hold on to kind of everything that's going wrong and focus on what can go right.
Yeah. I think it's all about not just telling, but showing, and trusting the journey. And when I say that, I mean, as far as like, I can, tell her anything she wants to hear, or, coach her up in all these different types of ways. But I think for me, I like to lead by example. So I know Aaliyah is a hard worker. So for me, it's important for me to make sure I'm in the gym on time, but I'm an early bird also, but being in early, doing my recovery, doing my treatment, getting the extra shots, showing her the way, not just telling her, but showing her that, this is what it takes to be a professional. And, the biggest thing for me was my rookie year is that no one's going to hold your hand. Before in college, you have somebody literally holding your hand and spoon-feeding you, but now you're a professional and it's all on you. But if you have that example in front of you, like I was blessed to come into to DC with Elena Deladon, and she did everything picture perfect. Like she was like the perfect professional. Her, Christy Tolliver, I can go down the list. Alicia Clark, of all these vets that I had, and they not just told me, but they showed me the way. And that's why they're champions. That's why they had long careers. And I try to do that the same way they did in my own way, and showing Aaliyah.
Love that.
No, I love that too. And as a leader on the team, we talked about your start not being, what you thought it would be.
Yeah.
What do you think your team needs to do moving forward to, have a finish that you want it to be?
Yeah.
For sure. I think the most frustrating thing is that, like, looking at our scores, like we're losing, it feels like we're losing by pennies. Yeah. And so it's just like literally the little things. And like some of the little things that may not matter, like in the heat of the moment, like a missed box out or a turnover here, like those are counting for us because we're losing by like 2-3 possessions. And so for us, we just got to continue to stay consistent in our work and continue to get 1% better. And give ourselves a little bit of grace because we are a fairly young team and a fairly new team. Like these are people that we haven't played with. Like our starting point guard is a rookie, but she's European. Like this is her first year in the league. She's 31, but she's also a rookie. So it's still new for her with the adjustment. So giving ourselves a little bit of grace, but still knowing that we're right there, but right there is not going to be good enough. So we got to continue to keep getting better.
I wonder, like, whenever a team's going through a hard time, right? I feel like it's the coach and it's the locker room and the presence in the locker room that really helps the team as a whole kind of get through each game, get through each week, and persevere and come out on the other side. So what is it particularly about this locker room that makes the team just prime and ready to overcome and start coming out on the other side?
Yeah. I think this is going to sound cliche, but like we genuinely like being around each other. Like we genuinely we love each other. Like we're always laughing, like we're always having a good time. So like, that's just like one thing that we don't have to think about, because I know it's easy when things aren't going well. It's for everyone to kind of go on their own islands and everyone play Superman. But we all know that because we can feel how close we are in some of these wins. And as, deflating as some of the losses can be, because we're right there. And we keep saying it's like the same story being written. Like we know that, we kind of all like got to look in the mirror and say like, what's one more thing I can do? And not even just for ourselves, but for the person next to us, because we do like each other. So we want to not just win for ourselves and our organization, but for the person next to us as well.
Well, not to take it back again, but I really want to ask you, really want to ask you about, you're a champ, you're a WNBA champion. Tell me what that was like. There's not a lot of people that can say that. That is something that you're always going to have forever. And I just want to know, like, what was that like, and what has it done for you, moving forward after becoming a champ?
Yeah, it was really a surreal feeling because, like you said, like it's just something I didn't even think that I would have an opportunity to be in the league when I was coming out of high school to go to the University of Maryland. But it wasn't even just the winning itself, the championship, but it was who I did it with. The Elena Deladons, the Christy Tolliver, these are legends. Even Mike Tebow, he's a legendary coach, and now he's our GM. But in the city of DC, who drafted me, it's just so layered. And I'm just so honored and blessed to call myself a champion and to still be playing for this legendary organization that drafted me as well.
What's the biggest misconception that people have about winning a championship and what it takes to win a championship? Because I think that people feel that certain teams automatically have a leg
Mhm.
up against all the other competition in the league. And we talked about this on the last pod with the Aces struggling this season. They have more losses this year than they did the entire year
Yeah.
last season. What is the biggest misconception that if you're top dog, that you stay top dog?
Oh, that's a good question. The biggest misconception is that one is it's not a sprint and it's not going to happen overnight. But also at the same time, I think our like one of our mottos when we won, and everybody's different, but one of our mottos is knowing your role and being an all-star in your role.
Ooh.
And I know that because sometimes everyone wants to be Batman, some people don't want to be Robin. It's just like all these different types of roles, but it takes everyone, all 12, to make a championship team. And so for us, like that year that we won the championship, I was a part of the bench. We call ourselves the bench mob, and our goal was to be the best bench in the league. Like we wanted to kill the other bench. Like that was our goal, was to kill the other benches, so that when we check in, our starters could rest. There was no drop off, and we wanted to be all stars in that role. Did we want to be starters? Like that wasn't even the thought. We wanted to just do our role and be the best in our role. And I think that is ultimately not just even the bench mob, but like even the starters had their roles, and being all stars in their roles with that as well. And I think that was like the basis of our championship run.
Well, and I actually read that you said you like being a bench player at
Yeah,
one point.
yeah. I
What
still
what
do. Yeah.
well, what specifically about it? I mean, obviously, in that
I've heard that
position.
before from other players as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I would just like you to expand on that, because I think, when I read it, I was thinking, I really haven't read that before,
Uh,
but I think there's value in saying why
yeah.
you like to be a bench player.
Yeah, I don't dislike being a starter, but I just feel like being a bench player, like it's like I call it like a cheat code. I get to see how the flow of the game is and see what
Mhm.
our team is missing that they may not, the that's in may not see. So it's like, if there's missed box outs or whatever someone's doing, like they're running this type of coverage or whatever it is. I can go in and make instant impact. I don't have to see how the flow of the game is going because I'm already locked in and I can see what's going on before I check in. That's why.
I want to focus on, where we are right now with this league, with the new
Mhm.
fans, the new eyeballs, good, bad, indifferent. If you could tell anybody who's
Mhm.
listening to this, will listen to this, or just in general, if you can go ahead and describe this league to someone
Mhm.
who is not familiar with it, talk about the women in this league to someone who's not familiar with them, what is the biggest thing you'd want to go ahead and share? And what is the biggest thing you want them to take away, even if they were just to watch one game?
Ooh, I would probably say I don't know how to say it in a sentence, but it's basically the emphasis of like we're more than basketball players. Like even just this interview or just the different players that are being highlighted this season, they all have a story. And getting to know them deeper than basketball players, I think that'll help grow the game as well. And like we're seeing these different marketing and the different branding, and I think that goes with what people are interested in and their backstory as well. And I think a lot of the growth of our game is even coming from people following from college, and I think that's even like a start of their story.
Mhm.
And I touched on it earlier about just even like the women's Final Four, about just like how these arenas are packed out and just learning like um, the backstory of some of these players. Like for me, like it was really touching how Dawn Staley had brought Camila Cardoso's mother from Brazil. I had no idea she moved to Brazil.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know. So now I'm a fan of her just because of the little backstory that I knew about her, like not knowing English, leaving her mother and her sister, like different things like that. And I think that'll even help fans give grace to players because some of these fans they're harsh. They are
Yeah, to
Jeez,
say
oh
the
man.
least.
At least, geez, oh man. But I think that if they knew a little bit more of the backstory and learning that, we're more than basketball players, we're more than athletes. that'll help you grow the game as well.
I couldn't agree more. And I think from my vantage point, I see that they cover a lot of the same players over and over again.
Mm.
And I'd love to see more stories being told.
Sure.
What Yeah, I mean, including yours. Like, I'd love to see more of your like, reading it, I was just like, "How have I not seen more of her story?" Right?
Yeah.
Because of everything that you've been through in this league,
Uh,
and you're here, you're playing, this
uh,
your whole story is really intriguing to me. But knowing that, right now, I think
uh,
it's getting better, but right now we see a lot of the same stories. Whose stories would you like to see moving
Mm.
forward? Are there any particular players?
I mean, I'm probably always gonna highlight my teammates. So starting
As you
with
should.
Edwards as a rookie, even Julie Van Loo, our starting point guard. She's 31, it's her rookie year, but she's a European champion from Belgium. Whose Belgium national team is like, they are like the holy grail in Europe. Like, they are superstars. They are superstars. They actually, oh man, I can't even remember. I think it was either November or February. They were tied with USA, and they lost on a buzzer beater by a tip-in to Breonna Stewart. So USA is like head and shoulders. So if you're losing by a buzzer beater to USA, like, that's a testament to how good you are. But I'm sure a lot of people don't know that whole backstory about her. But those are like the two that comes. Even Jay Melbourne, like another young player on team. She's the youngest player in the league, coming from Australia. We got her this year. But there's a whole bunch of people that I could touch on, but obviously I'm going to highlight my teammates.
As you should.
I love that. As you should, right? As you should. You got to start at home first.
Yeah.
Shatori, it's been an absolutely pleasure just getting to know you, getting to know your journey. And to Alicia's point, we definitely need to go ahead and utilize our platforms, in the media to highlight the stories that people don't know. That's not taking away from, the big names and the superstars and whatever it is you want to refer to them as. But I think that, again, when we talk about this league, we talk about so many different types of women with so many different types of backstories and coming from so many different types of walks of life, that we do an injustice when we don't go ahead and highlight as many as them as possible. Sure. So first and foremost, we wish you a healthy rest of your season. I know hiatus is coming up, so I hope you take a nice breather. You get to relax and chill a little bit and maybe kick back into high gear. And we wish the team a successful remainder of the season as well. So.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm truly honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.